All right, for segment 2 today, I am going to do something out of the ordinary here. I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to do something a little wild. World Book 26, Dinosaur Swamp. And I got to tell you, going into this, I wasn't sure exactly what to expect, but it was an interesting read, and I can't wait to bring it to you here in just a moment. Role-playing games thrive in fantastic worlds and at inclusive tables that embrace these core values for the most positive gaming experience. Donate to the Wounded Warrior Project via the link in the description below to help, honor, and empower our wounded heroes. On Thursdays and Saturdays, watch Heathen Dog's Dirty Casuals play multiplayer video games over on Twitch. On Sundays and Fridays, join us for tabletop role-playing game content on both YouTube and Rumble. Finally, please take a quick moment to like this video and share it with both your friends and on social media. If you have not done so, please subscribe to Legion of Myth and activate that bell icon to receive notifications of new content. All right, there we go on the screen. We got the nice cover, Dinosaur Swamp. I got my book right here, and I started to get the Palladium peel just from reading it this week. Very little, very little.
Nice.
But all right, so this book, we're gonna breeze through this book. Remember, this is an overview now. We're gonna breeze through this book. We got dumb disclaimers. We got a great table of contents, and we are going to look at, excuse me, what is Dinosaur Swamp. So it includes North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and what's left of Florida. Florida got hit pretty darn hard. The Great Cataclysm pretty much destroyed the southeastern United States with tsunamis, tides, hurricanes, and even earthquakes. Even if you lived up near Appalachia, you where most of the eventual survivors lived, you had floods. What else? Yeah, you had flash flooding, you had storms, you had, like, again, the earth just went wild. We won't talk about the really crazy stuff quite yet. We'll talk about that in a moment. But conventional buildings were destroyed within just a couple of days. Like when the storms came, you had hurricanes that were just like Hurricane Cat 12. But they only go to Cat 5. Not when rifts are involved. Not when you've got ley lines that are popping up all over the place. You get hurricane and let's stack another hurricane on top of that. Let's just wipe out Florida. Apparently, Kevin, or who's this guy that wrote it, Todd Yoho, did not like Florida because he wiped it out. Mega damage structures didn't even last a long time either. And only an estimated, depending on which estimates you go with, only an estimated 5 to 20% of all people in the region survived.
Wow.
And
how many millions of people were living there? And 5 to 10% of them just lived, and the rest of them just died.
A high estimate. Okay. 2% survived Florida. Yeah. So yeah, the area was wasted, and it wasn't just one thing that did it. It was just like everything just happened at one time. If you lived there, it was like Florida Man, just all the karma from Florida Man came back at you. It's just the way it was. Where humans once dominated, the earth reclaimed her dominance. Even NEMA. What does that stand for again?
Northern Eagle something. Damn it.
Okay.
Northern Eagle something.
Whatever they're called, couldn't maintain hold on the area. And today, the survivors, now inhabitants, reside mostly as wandering survivalists, and we'll get into that in the next video, way more in the next video. Individual and free, or as small communities bound together for mutual protection. Overall exploration of the region has been sparse, with most adventurers concentrating on salvage and monster hunting. One thing that we'll say is when everybody dies like that, there's a lot of salvage because people didn't stock up on things and take them elsewhere. They just died. So there are places to go, well, digging or diving to go find lost treasures. And again, we'll talk about that in a little bit. You will find now in the area, you will find the gamut of God-fearing folks willing to help a stranger to despots and mercenaries who seek power over the weak, and all personalities in between. No matter the person, though, the one thing to remember is survival is the game. It's Dinosaur Swamp, okay? You're just trying to eke out a living. Well, isn't that everywhere in Rifts? Well, it might be some of the other locations that I'm not exactly aware of, but imagine you have civilization in Chi-Town, right? Imagine even the areas outside of it where you've got was it Tolkien? This book is technically after Tolkien, but Tolkien and the Federation of Magic. You've got these areas of what we might not call civilization today, but compared to Dinosaur Swamp, dude, you are living life. You're living the good life.
Thriving metropolis.
Yes. So the dangers in Dinosaur Swamp are less from the Coalition, DBs, Archie, Mechanoids, though those encounters can happen. Here, it's the Earth and the environment that are trying to kill you. Dangers include, but are not limited to, barbarians, which we'll talk about in the next video, mutants, new diseases, insects, man-eating plants, and, wait for it, the return of dinosaurs as supernatural mega-damaged creatures.
Jesus, man, it's already bad enough, man. You got dinosaurs, now you got mega damaged T-Rex. Come on, man.
Before we excite our 8-year-old, inner dinosaur lover, because everybody wants to know about the dinosaurs, I get that. Next video, folks. Let's take a deeper look at the territory itself. And I think this is kind of a game mastery section, which is why it's not located right in the same spot. But we got to go up to like page 107. Dinosaur Swamp. Let's get the map. That's good enough for now. We'll look at Florida. Actually, we'll look at Florida specifically in a moment. So you got Dinosaur Swamp here, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida. I'm from Alabama. Well, I'm in Alabama now, so we're saved. No, not really.
Yeah, that worked out. You're just right there. You're like right there.
Yeah.
You're dead too.
Oh, let's look at Florida. The Panhandle's kind of fine. If you want a little jagged, maybe a little more jagged. But look at the bottom.
That's all gone, and the East Coast is now a bunch of islands, and the West Coast, a lot of it is just gone.
And we'll talk a little bit about the barrier islands.
Someone was eating it.
Hurricanes, tsunamis, floods, DBs. All right, the old state of Florida. As you can see from the map right here, Florida was wrecked.
Yeah.
The southern portion is now under the ocean, with the old swamps under the Atlantic. And the new swampland has kindly moved north. So yes, there is still complete swampland there. Just instead of the Okefenokee being down here, the Okefenokee, or the equivalent thereof, is up here now. Do you see that word right there? I'm not zoomed in, but do you see that?
Time holes.
Does that sound good?
It sounds bad.
Okay.
It sounds like a glory hole that always has teeth on the other side.
Gross. So the River of Grass is the new South Florida, while the Central Highlands are just north of the River of Grass. What's the River of Grass? It's that swampy area where people use those little airboats.
Yeah.
Where it looks like it's grass, but it's still, water.
Like 6 feet of water in it, those grass. Yeah.
So it says here, I need to read something. Page 109, column 1, last sentence. Is that 109? That's 108. It just says read the last sentence. Why is that? For rules on... Oh, yeah, I have a comment about this. For rules on traveling through the jungle marsh environment, refer to page 154 of Rift's World Book 1, Vampire Kingdoms. Guess what problem I have with that?
What problem do you have with that?
Never, ever, ever refer to another book I have to buy to tell me how to use this book. It's okay to do the core book.
Yeah, if you have to reference the core book, you should have that anyway, or else you can't play the game. I get it. You're right.
What are the odds of me ever owning Vampire Kingdoms?
Close to 0.
Right. And guess what the other book is, and we'll get to that in the next video, that you kind of need to own for this one.
Don't say like Mexico or South America. I don't want that. Or Splugor.
No, it's the one that I hate the most. New West.
You do not need New West. This is literally the Southeast, man. You can't get more away from New West than here.
I'll explain that when we do the next video. Yeah, no, this was, by the way, to be fair, I love this book. This book is great, but this was my one, like, are you kidding me? No. If it comes from another source book, you put it in this one. If it comes from the core book, reference the core book. And I'll go one step further and say, I consider the Game Master Guide a core book. So I have no problem referencing the Game Master Guide, what do they call it now? The Ultimate Edition, or any of the conversion books. That all makes sense. Not another world book, but I'm not going to dwell on that. Just wanted to put that in there because that was a little annoying when I was looking that up.
I get it.
So let's go back up here to the map for just a second, just so you can see it again, because I want to focus on these barrier islands that you can look at right there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now I'm going to go to page 109, column 2, paragraph 2. Well, that's one. Here we go. Starting with, it just says paragraph 2, all of paragraph 2. Okay. Well, we're going to have some reading. These islands themselves are generally long and narrow with a perimeter of fine white sand beaches. Okay. Sounds like Florida. Not so bad so far, right? The beaches rise into high dunes, and the interior of the islands are composed of dense pockets of scrubby trees and bushes on solid ground. Home to mostly birds, the islands are typically devoid of any large land animals, and you should be thankful for that, because hence the name of the book, Dinosaur Swamp, no large land animals there. Means
it's not Dinosaur Island.
It's not Dinosaur.
You're good.
Though occasionally small dinosaurs, predatory cats, or a family of alligators may claim the island as its territory, preying on the birds. If there's sufficient prey to be found, like a large group of humanoids, a Spinosaur, or that other word, will come ashore and prowl the islands as well. I don't know why I wanted that. That doesn't sound like...
Sarcosuchus?
Yeah.
Sarcosuchus.
I really feel like the next paragraph is what I wanted to do, but oh well, it is what it is. The islands contain a lot of buried debris from the past. If you dig, you are bound to find something.
Oh, it's pirate treasure.
What, pirate treasure, Cape Canaveral, you know?
Well, no, I mean, it's like pirate treasure. You know, the small island, X marks the spot, dig on the island, get your treasure. Okay.
Well, you're bound to, so usually you'll find rusted vehicles or pulverized buildings. But remember, this destruction happened so fast. Things didn't rot away. On the other hand, collectors are willing to pay 1d6 times 10,000. Now, I don't know what type of money do you use in Rifts, because it didn't say. It just said
credits.
Okay, credits. Okay. 1d6 times 10,000. So 10 to 60,000 credits for pre-Rift spaceship salvage with official insignia and markings on them. So, hey, it's time to go find Cape Canaveral or Patrick Air Force Base. The Florida Panhandle is a lush rainforest littered with sinkholes. So that's fun. Travel is very difficult, at least 60% slower, because you're falling in holes. And
sinkholes suck, man.
And paths that you were on, all of a sudden, just go away. It's kind of like what we were doing in the Palladium fantasy game yesterday. The most fascinating aspect of post-cataclysm Florida, fascinating, really, is that the word I used, are the time holes, which are remnants from KLS Corporation Aerospace Laboratories' attempt at building a Stargate. That's my word, of course, to transport materials. So quantum leaps in physics occurred over 40 years of research. So we think this could work. It took them 40 years during what they call the Golden Age.
The Golden Age of Man.
Yeah. Until KLS finally sent a small drone through the gateway. It only went 20 feet. Or is it 20 yards, whatever, 20 something. But it was the start of something potentially grand. They made 4 more of these things. So 1 plus 4 is 5. That'll be important in a moment. When the Great Cataclysm hit, these gateways had disrupted the interdimensional fabric so much that ley line storms destroyed the complex, but made the 5 gateways permanent.
Awesome. That's great.
No, not great at all. No. In the wake are these time holes, which drew creatures from Earth's past into the present. Did you miss the name?
Yeah, Dinosaur Swamp. Got it. Check. Damn, how big were these things?
Not actually all that big at all. But the interdimensional space, I'll hopefully mention that, or else I'll find it in the book. So where was it? So currently these time holes run on a 27-day cycle, during 10 of which there's a 99. So if you're rolling percentile dice, 99% chance of a rift appearing with who knows what emerging, including poisonous atmosphere. It's one of the notes in the book is that these rifts can actually bring in atmosphere, unlike normal rifts, which apparently can't do this. You can bring in poisonous atmosphere. So Mustafar just rolled in and you lava up an area.
Awesome.
Yeah. So adventurers who seek the time holes are rarely ever seen again.
Yeah, man, I get it. I get that. Now, this isn't the first instance of high technology interfering with magic and causing something stupid. Japan did the same thing. You remember the Rifts Japan book?
But I remember they do have a lot of temporal nonsense going on.
They were trying some kind of teleportation experiment. Right when the rifts erupted, they flipped the switch. It caused them to become part of a pocket dimension for 300 years.
Was the
Okay.
pocket dimension itself safe?
It was nothing. Yeah, it was safe. There was just
Oh.
nothing there.
Hey, you know what? You weren't being rifted, right?
Yeah, right.
Column 2, paragraph 2. Okay, oh yeah. No, it says that is not paragraph 2, or I'm on the page 111, C2P2. I can't get my notes right. Hold on, I gotta find in the magic-rich environment. There it is. That's column 1, you dum-dum. In the magic-rich environment of Rift's Earth, the time hole's transitional place of power. Apparently, that term "transitional place of power" means something to you, Rifts folks,
I got nothing.
because it's capitalized and it's actually mentioned a few other times in italics, like refer to other transitional places of power. Is obviously much stronger than it would be during a period of low magic intensity. Consequently, it is active at all times, but runs through cycles of power. At its lowest and default stage, the energy level of the site is equal to standing on a ley line. The holes manifest themselves as gray, milky, amorphous distortions, slowly shifting between time periods. Every 27...
I am the guardian of forever.
There you go. Yes. Except for you don't see a portal. It's just, did we just enter something weird? Is there something weird going on over there? Every 27 days, the site begins a 10-day surge period, with the energy levels of the first and last days being equal to the vernal autumnal equinox, and the midpoint day being equal to the lunar eclipse. These days in betweens are equal to an increase of magic energy as if it were midday or midnight. Again, those of you who follow Rifts much more than I do will know what that means.
Well, no, all of this during specific events, seasonal events, planetary alignment, magic increases, and your spells are more effective. They last longer. So these things are artificial magic boosters. But standing near one gets you killed. So I still don't want to go. I don't want to go. Fine.
The area surrounding the time holes is littered with corpses and skeletons of animals brought to the Rift's Earth that could not breathe its atmosphere. Because remember, they might breathe sulfur.
Yeah.
They come here and die. Then again, it brings in something that breathes sulfur, and you're standing there. You might breathe and die.
You better hope to have environmental armor on, or else you're boned.
All right, we're not going to look at the ruins of Florida. You can go check that out on your own. This is something that I think is adventure oriented, and you should deal with that. I debated talking about the tunnel goblins, but I did not. So, and you can explore Disneyland and the Cape. Look at all that right there. So let's get to Georgia. We want to talk about Georgia. All these little rolls for if you're caught in a tunnel. There we go. The old state
peach cobbler. It's the only thing I found good about Georgia.
We got some peach state. It says I should look at the map on page 107, but it's just this. There you go.
Horror forest.
Yes, horror forest. It's okay. It's fun.
It's fun. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
You can see that it's broken into 3 areas: Eastern Sandy Marsh, Piedmont and the Horror Forest, and the Georgia Appalachians. All right. Well, I'll just leave the map up. I don't till I have to read something. So first, we're going to look at the Eastern Sandy Marsh, also aptly named the New Okefenokee. This is where, again, you're gonna have a lot of the tall grasses. You're gonna have alligators. You're gonna have lakes all over the place. It's just a grassy swamp, full of sand, full of grass. Also, it's the home of a powerful ley line nexus in the southeast corner. So there you go, magic users. And now I get to read page 118, column 2, paragraph 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. At the very southern. Okay, yeah, I guess I'm going to tell you about those right now. At the very southeastern, oh my God, at the very southeasternmost, shouldn't there be a space in there? I don't know. Most point of the New Okefenokee is a powerful concentration of ley lines and nexus points. It is thought that the first carnivorous plants came to Rift Earth through dimensional portals originating along these ley lines and spread both north and south along the east coast. Oh yeah, wait till we talk about creatures in the next video.
I'm glad they're keeping track of the man-eating plant pedigree. That's important.
When we talk about, man, you're gonna love the next video. When we talk about OCCs and so forth in the next video, there's a lot of that going on. Yes.
Okay.
There's no doubt that they prosper here, and the high concentrations of ley line nexus points regularly cause rifts to open and bring forth someone new for the plants to eat. Could be you, but you know what? Why not a DB instead, right? Many monsters, demons, and other extra-dimensional creatures that appear in the new Okefenokee never make it out, as they are made a swift meal for a man-eating plant or hungry carnosaur. Ironically, despite the intensity of magic energy and because of the strange form of predator-prey dynamic in the region, the borders of the swamp are often some of the safest when it comes to supernatural creatures. Notice that distinction there. When it comes to supernatural creatures. However, this just means the dinosaurs have the range all to themselves. Something else, I don't know if I'm going to talk about it in my notes. I forget if I wrote them down or not. But what a lot of inhabitants do in the area is they actually pit the demons against each other. So
Makes sense. You know, if Godzilla and Mothra want to fight, you just step out of the way.
Right?
I'm out.
Right? So the majority, if you saw on that map, the majority of Georgia is the Georgian Piedmont, also known as the Haunted Forest, due to the large number of haunted ruins. Yes, we're going to talk about this in the next video. Yes, ghosts, spirits, and poltergeists of millions of long-lost humans that exist under this area of the forest, which in total ranges from Alabama to Canada. My beloved. The haunted, so this forest range actually goes up into Canada, follows the Appalachians. Like everywhere else, Atlanta is in ruins, but it does have two underground regions. The MARTA, which is the current day public transportation for the area, has the MARTA tunnels and the underground. Ratmen secretly live in the northern area of the MARTA tunnels, and there are 24 true Atlanteans. We're not talking from Atlanta. We're not talking from Atlanta Atlanteans. We're talking about from Atlantis Atlanteans, who also live in the tunnels, who are hiding from Splugorth assassins. Oh, did I mention that the Splugorth love this area?
Well, yeah. I mean, for pet plants or pet dinosaurs or pet humans, this is a great place to fish.
Pet humans. They come for pet humans, yes. And pet DBs. Again, we'll talk about that. Next video or the third one, I forget. So we're done with Georgia. Just want to talk about the horror forest. The reason I mentioned that portion of the horror forest is because it's something we're going to talk about in the next video. So ruins of Atlanta, and it's not a good Futurama episode. Let's zoom down to Carolina. Look, there's a lot of information in this book, as you can see, which is a good thing. It's hard to do an overview when there's a lot of good information like that. All right, there's the quick look at North and South Carolina. Really, they just call it the Carolinas now. Nobody cares that it was once North and South. One of the things you might be upset about is I'm not going to dive into Char, which is the burned out ruins of Charleston. I really felt after reading that was very important for the game master to kind of keep to himself. But I have the book, Max. That's fine. Read it. I don't care. There's so much you can do with Char. This is like the #1 primary settlement in this entire area. And I didn't want to spill too much. We'll talk about it just a tiny bit, but I didn't want to spill too much. So no, I'm not going to go into Char. All right. So compared to Georgia and Florida, the Carolinas actually seem kind of boring. This couldn't be further from the truth. And let's go to 136 and look at column 1, paragraph 1. All right. The mountains, of which South Carolina only shares limited foothills and lower elevations, are a vast wilderness of forests, rivers, meadows, and valleys very similar to the Georgian mountains. Home to roaming packs of smaller dinosaurs and solitary predators, is a fertile, pristine wilderness that can offer refuge and sanctuary to those willing to accept the dangers and who know how to survive in spite of them. Elevations as high as 6,000 feet, I'm not going to read it exactly, mean some of the highest points in the entire mountain range are found among these cloudy peaks. Like the rest of the Appalachian mountain chain, especially throughout the south, the ruins of hydroelectric dams are a common sight, as are the shattered ruins of industrial plants. Even after centuries of natural reclamation, the chemicals released in the destruction of the industrial plants are still present in the water table, making it difficult to find safe drinking water within 50 miles of them. Hello, Chernobyl.
I don't buy that, but okay. All right.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to get into.
It's been 300 years, man. Come on. I don't know what to tell you. I don't buy it, but okay.
That wasn't actually the paragraph I was supposed to read, apparently. Why am I not marking my paragraphs properly? Well, I don't want to read anymore because this is an overview. Well, you know what? I don't care. It's going to talk about one of the barbarian tribes, but I can't find it. What I would like Heathen Dog to do is we're going to. So As a ley line storm passes through the ley line lattice, there's a ley line lattice here. It disrupts the energy of the lines in such a way it creates a temporal environmental distortions that, in effect, puncture the walls of reality to temporarily merge two or more worlds. You're just traipsing through the Carolinas, and all of a sudden, you're in snowy Hoth and lava-infested Mustafar.
At the same time.
At the same time. It's cold. The atmosphere's gone crazy. It's also warm. Snow is boiling. Air is putrid. Just weird things happen, and weird animals come flying in. So, Heathen Dog, I would like for you to roll percentile dice for me.
Sure.
And it's called D-shifting, dimensional shifting, and we're going to see what happens.
69.
69. You get, where the hell is it? You get to scroll. 69 to 72. You get an alien forest. Nothing overtly deadly or dangerous, just different. Very different. This can be any type of forest composed of strange alien trees, plant life, and bugs. No, nobody wants alien bugs. Stop it.
I don't need the bugs. I don't need the bugs.
The sky may also be a different color. If the GM would like, toward the end of the D-shift experience, the characters may be bothered or attacked by a carnivorous plant. Oh, there aren't enough of those around here. A swarm of bugs, one or two giant bugs, or a monster. Before things get too out of hand, the landscape shifts again, returns to the Rift's Earth. There you go. After 2d6 times 10 minutes. That's actually quite a bit of time.
Yeah, up to 2 hours in an alien environment you know nothing about, with dangers that you are not prepared for. 2 hours is dead. Unless you are armed to the teeth.
Yeah. I mean, this Moonscape one would be scary. Like, oh, that's great. Nothing. And a weird sky. So, all right. The ley lines, or did that? Oh, yeah, I wanted you to roll, so we did that. The primary area of human habitation is Char, and it's the burned out remains of Charlotte. I said Charleston. I keep saying Charleston for some reason, but it's Charlotte, not Charleston. With over 10,000 residents in the city, and surrounding areas, like 6,000 in the city and 2,000 or 3,000 outside, whatever. That number isn't important. Apparently, it is important because I said show the demographics on page 148. There you go. Oh, it's 8,000. There you go. That is the racial breakdown of Charlotte, or Char.
Okay. 48% human, non-mutant barbarians, 25% mutant barbarians, 18% DBs, 5% mutant animals, and 4% other. I'm sure that's carnivorous plants. Yeah.
Probably. There you go. And not so much a city, but a collection of people who simply live near each other. There's no water, no sewage, no laws, no courts. Good luck. The only agreed upon rule is to keep the mercantile downtown safe from gang wars.
Wow. Wow. I mean, the bar's pretty low. Bar's pretty low on that one. Murderous home invasions. Nah. Wildfires burning through a quarter of the city. Nah. Oh no, keep the money flowing. Yeah.
Well, that's what money there is. I mean, I can't explain it enough. Everybody in the Dinosaur Swamp is poor. Okay, maybe everybody is a little too exacting, but everybody's poor.
Everybody.
And we'll talk about that a little bit more maybe when we talk about the OCCs, because it really comes up a lot with the OCCs. But everybody, the entirety of Dinosaur Swamp is all about survival. Now, there is one OCC that theoretically can get rich, but what is rich here is not rich in the rest of the world.
Right. You have to understand, the greatest entrepreneur on the planet, everything he touches turns to gold. It's beautiful, succeeds at everything. You can only get as much money as there is to get. If literally everyone around you doesn't have 2 pennies to rub together, even the greatest idea or the greatest product will not make you rich because there literally isn't enough money.
And to the folks in chat, yeah, I don't know why my mouth wants to keep saying Charleston, but you're right, it is Charlotte. It is. If I say Charleston, I mean Charlotte. I don't know why. It's like I want to say Charleston for some reason, but it is Charlotte. Charlotte is what Char is. All right. So there we go. So that's a very quick overview of the history and landscape. There are so many more secrets for you guys to find. I covered these very 10,000 foot overview. But hopefully this builds your interest to discover more about World Book 26, Dinosaur Swamp. Go get your copy on the Palladium Bookstore. Use my affiliate link below and get it off the PDF off of Drive Through RPG. And next week, an exciting book's about to be released. I know a bunch of you have questions, so if you have questions and comments, go ahead and put it in the comment section here or on our Discord. If there's anything you want us to bring up, be respectful. Always be respectful. In our next episode, we're going to look at those pesky dinosaurs finally. I know everybody wants like, ooh, dinosaurs. I know I was like that. So dimensionally transported here from the past, of course, as well as some new occupational character classes that and a racial character class that has been brought into the game as well. So just look forward to seeing you then.
Let's look at some chat here. Let's see. We have Northern Eagle Military Alliance. Yeah, we all came up with it at the same time. And then Cyghost 360 says this book felt a lot like Rift's Chaos Earth when I was reading it. Well, yeah, because Rift's Chaos Earth gave at the time the most deliberate and accurate portrayal of the Great Cataclysm. And this book does the same thing, just to a smaller area.
Okay.
The only change to Florida is that it got smaller.
No.
It has all the same biomes. They just moved around. That's it.
I see what you're saying there. Okay.
And then we have Charleston or Charlotte. Well, we answered that.
Yeah. That's my. I don't know why I want to say Charleston, but it's probably because the name of the city is Char.
Well, no, it's the fact that you're one of those old men who still like Charleston chews. That's all it is.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard that in a long time.
Every grandma has the butterscotch candy. Every grandpa has Charleston chew. That's how it works. That's how it works. We have the last one. Elle says, I really want to hear what this book says about Orlando. Is Reedy Creek a corrupt apocalyptic settlement still?
Well, you can buy the book and find out.
Oh, no, denied.
I am not going into, partially because if I went into one, then I would need to go, if I would feel I'd need to go into them all. I think I did an overview of the main events, the interesting things. I mean, time holes, you might not deal with that in your campaign, but they're interesting facet to Florida. So, yeah, no, it's an overview. So you can get the book. And yeah, so next one, like I said, let's get the subscribe thingy up. There we go.
Talk about dinosaurs, man.
What's that?
Talk about dinosaurs.
Yeah, let's talk about dinosaurs and the OCCs that want to go explore dinosaurs because they're weird.